what you can get when you get me in office, or without, because I'm going to still be grinding.
3,
Okay.
2.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be back on. As you all know, I have been grinding out there on the campaign trail, and it has been a phenomenal time and a learning experience. One of the things I want to talk about today as we get into it, but I'm going to kind of do my little intro, but one of the things we're going to talk about today is Voter 101. Some of the things I've seen as I was connecting with individuals and community residents or constituents is that some of the things that they had a lack of knowledge. And we want to make sure that we are able to help out in that. So we're going to talk about some resources. We're going to talk about some websites. We're going to talk about, the primaries, how it's important to vote in primaries more than the general election. But we're going to talk about why it is important. So please understand that it is so important to vote June 26th. But we're going to talk about that. So I want to first say that I'm so thankful for my beautiful, beautiful co-host who has held it down a few times. And even when she wasn't at the show, she was even with me at forums and debates and just there with us. So I just want to say thank you for your continued support to myself, to RadioOnFire, to Restoring the Village, just for being an awesome co-host. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I also have my daughter. She is the co-host. And as you all know, she's been away to college. I'm so proud of her. She's here for the summer. And she is, mass communication is her major. So trying to just get her used to being in the camera, on the mic, and also an educational form as well as for her. This will be her first year, everyone, that she's voting. So I'm so excited for her. So I'm going to let everybody I even want my co-host to introduce her new name as well and the meaning of it. And I want my daughter to do her intro. And then we're going to go right into the Voter 101 set.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. My name is Yarden Graham. I decided to change my name because I wanted it to reflect my actual journey and my growth and my evolution. So Yarden means rebirth, renaissance, and renewal. So that kind of just everything in a nutshell. So, yeah.
Awesome. And you want to do your little intro?
Hello, my name is Brenaya Winder. I am her daughter, as she just said. But I'm excited to be here, so let's get into this voting topic.
Yes.
Awesome. Look at that. Hey, yes. I forgot to even put it on her. Look at that, everyone. So again, make sure you go on to RadioOnFire.com page. And also, that way you can see the full view of us. As well as you can always call in if it gets really good and meaty to you. It's 404-436-1277. I have it in the comments, so if you want to chime in anytime, please make sure that you do so, okay? So the topic is the Voter 101. And we're going to talk about why it is so important to vote. To vote. Understand that Maryland is a Democratic state. So that's why it's very important to do in the primaries. Most times we don't have most candidates are Democrat. So that's why it's very important. However, we have a whole list of governors, and we have also our current governor, which is a Republican. So there will be your general election when we find out about the governor. But most of the other offices we're going to know June 26th. So that is why it's very, very, very important. Some of the things, some of the candidates or positions, should I say, or elected offices, should I say, are available and for us to vote is the comptroller, the governor, sheriff, judges, state attorney, delegate, senator, and central committee. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone, but this is the gubernatorial elections, and that is mainly what falls under it. As we already stated, my daughter, I'm so happy that she's voting this year for the first time. So voters, it's 18 and over. even if you're 16, we want to still make sure you register to vote now. So you can still register to vote. You just won't be able to vote until 18. But we know that then it will be our presidential election.
2020.
Wow.
2020. So
Such a
it
big
is so
deal.
it is
Yes.
still so very important to register to vote, and also not just register, but to have the knowledge. And that's what we're getting ready to come into talk about. So just some friendly little reminders. As Yarden already mentioned, early voting is
Early voting is
Very
in
important.
2 days, guys. So-
deuces.
Yeah. So we're kind of like
So important.
we're kind of like stressing the importance of it, and and using this platform to kind of advance the movement of getting out there and voting early.
Very important. Not only does it start in 2 days, it's going to run from the 14th through the 21st. From 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. I'm going to actually put out some links that will give some locations for early voting. One of them in my area will be the League. I think also Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, I believe is Baptist. But there are various places, Northern Parkway and Park Heights, where the old it was then Greenmount.
Yes.
Greenmount. Green Spring. Pimlico Middle School. So there are various sites where you can go for early voting. Most times there's not that many people in line, so it's a great time to do it. But the big day and decision is June 26th. And the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. All right. There are one of the things I want to talk about is every time I was registering voters and I said, "Are you in the 43rd district? I have a card."
Ooh.
You're in the 43rd district? Because I'm running for Central Committee. And they said, surprisingly, I don't know.
Wow.
So that's why I wanted to talk about it. So we want to, and this was young people, older people, this was everyone. So we want to talk about how do we find out which district we live in. And it'll also tell you who your representatives are, because even when I say, okay, maybe you don't know your district, who's your current representatives. And even then, this is not even to make anyone feel bad, but they was just saying Brandon Scott. They gave me like for your presidential, they gave me a city council, and so that is not the race for this time. So when I asked for delegates or senate, they didn't know. So to me, it's for various reasons. Maybe their senator, their delegates are not showing up,
Okay.
right? Also, just not having the knowledge. So we want to drop some jewels on.
Because I didn't
how-
know what district I was in
Well,
until you started to.
Yeah, I think I'm enjoying it too.
Well, actually, I've learned a lot from you running, because I didn't know what district I was in, but being connected to you, it's like, well, let me find out, because yes.
Find out who is representing, and if they're not doing the job, we gotta get them out, right?
Yeah.
So we gotta do this together. So one of the websites that's very important, and I want to talk about or bring it up is Maryland, or www.mdelect.net. That's mdelect.net. That is, in particular, a great site where you can find your current representatives, that's state or city. And all you have to do is put your address in. That's just it. Once you put your address in, and it is, listen, it is so funny because some people wanted lawn signs, and Harford Road, one side of the street is 45th district, and the other one is the 43rd. So even if you think you may know it, it's the whole redistricting is going to happen again. But that whole thing of how it's mapped out, it can be very tricky. So always go on there and still put in your address to find out which district you live in. Also on the website, again, it's I'm sorry, the Congress. I didn't even put that on here. But our current one is Elijah Commons, and so that is even up. I would have to look and see. Hopefully I listed all of them, but even still, you can look on there and see all that are listed. my daughter made a great point, and I'm going to have her talk about it, but she wanted to know how could you find out more information about individual candidates, which I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah.
Because it's not like put out in like schools. We don't know who's running.
Wow. Well, I learned some stuff.
I personally don't know who's running, other than like the president. That was something that big happened last year. It was about Donald Trump. But other than that, nothing.
Right. Wow. So she made a great point that it's not even in the schools anymore, or if it is, it's like really, really quick. Like, let's get to the next, topic. Everything is get them ready for testing, and they don't even know it. So I think even that's an eye opener, because even those that are registered, that's why I never want to be the one that just sit there and try to get people registered, and yet they still don't know.
Yes.
That's like giving a person a license and they didn't go to driving school. Wow, right? So we got to make sure that and it's no one's fault. Let's just say there's no one's fault right now. But going forward, as of today, you have the knowledge of it. You can now share this video. Please share it. Share the information. Put it out to people. It is never too late. It's never too late to learn it. But it is detrimental if we don't get out and vote. Like today. So make sure that
Not
we do
today,
that.
June 14th.
Yeah, I'm just saying. In this time. So I'm going to say this. It's going to kind of throw it off a little bit. So last Saturday, I had the honor of being interviewed on a radio show. And it was Simply Sabrina. I've actually met her, and she's a host. I actually met her at one of the candidate forums. I believe they're having candidate forums and candidate debates. Even though you may not have a large crowd, sometimes they go on live. It's still a way of learning about the candidates or learning the process. So I wanted to thank her and she is here today. I'm going to try to bring her in, but there was so many questions that was answered. Callers were calling in and had some vital, questions. Older people, young people, and so we just wanted to make sure that we continue to support those that are helping in the community of getting the word out. So even different people that did forums and debates and radio shows. So we got to keep pushing that into our community and make it popular. I understand that you may not want to hear, but listen, let me just tell you, I go to meetings, school board meetings, city hall meetings. It's the most boring things, but that's where laws are being passed. That's where decisions are being made. And because we're not at the seat or at the table with them or going to meetings to have a vote, things are passed.
Very lost.
Yeah, lost too. So they give us this whole little blah, 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 laws, and it's like it doesn't make sense. So you do need someone that sometimes could probably, convey that message to everyone on a certain level.
And not even that, like as you were talking before, that's like the grassroots.
Yes.
Like if you actually want to know more about politics, if you want to know more about the agendas and everything, that is like the most basic fundamental level to actually get involved. I mean, you can't wake up one day and instantly be a senator, or wake up one day instantly be a delegate, but you can travel that road and find out the formation and all things. So that's critically important.
Oh yes, absolutely. Let me tell you, not in a million years would I think that I would be into politics. Not in a million years would I sit there. I'm so private, and you cannot be private in politics. You are now a public figure in a sense. All your information is out. Let me say, I just posted something on my page. As you all know, I don't want to say I'm radical, but I point facts. I point the facts out. So I may not get endorsed by too many people, but I point the facts out. I'm dropping knowledge. One of the things I have a problem with is how some candidates, so Linnea said we can speak on the differences between council members, delegates. All right, so if we have some time, I'm going to. If not, I'm going to give you a website. But what I do want to say that on the board of election, there is a whole list of all the candidates. Most times, the candidates have their contact information as well as, their personal, their personal information. Some people have P.O. boxes. And I know when I filled out the application, it said absolutely not Like you could not have a P.O. box. So I want to know, why is that even possible for some or the other? So I put that on my page, and some were just saying because of security reasons. I feel like that should be for everyone. It shouldn't be a pick and choose because it was a mayor. And it wasn't, I'm just giving that it was a mayor, a state's attorney, or whatever, because it's still not everyone. And you either can't say that it's mandatory, or you're picking and choosing. And some of them are not even high profile candidates, and yet, so the reason I brought that up is because the problem is some people don't live in the district, or some people don't live in the city.
So they wanted you to put your own address instead of a P.O. box?
Absolutely.
Because
because you have to be a resident, a Baltimore City resident, or in my case, I'm going for a district position, so I have to live in a district.
Yes.
There are some people I know for a fact that do not live where they say they live. But because they have they can use that address, they can run. But I don't think that's fair. And so the problem is who's actually checking them.
Wow.
And so we got to make sure they're supposed to. And they're also not supposed to put a P.O. box on there. There are quite a few on there that has a P.O. box.
Yeah, I think that there should be steps that you can take to do that, because some people do have certain situations.
Yes.
Like we was at a debate with Marilyn Mosby. There was people very angry with her. Like
She has her
needs-
address listed.
That's what I'm saying. She needs security. Like certain people have different interactions with the public, and you need that.
I don't think
And,
no one
like
should have it.
A woman, sometimes you may not
Yes.
be comfortable putting.
So as a woman, when I was filling out my application, I said I wasn't comfortable putting my information, and they said there was no way to get around it.
Yeah.
So why is it that some?
Oh, so your address is on the...
Oh yes.
Yeah,
So
I won't be staying home tonight.
I specifically asked that question, and I was told that there's no way I could, and I spoke to a supervisor. Now, yes, Marilyn Mosby information is on there, and some are not. So I'm just trying to see. We had to be fair all the way across the board.
Right.
Yeah,
I believe she does.
now,
Yeah.
but she's not going to forever, and I feel like I feel like it's too much information is put out for and even.
Sheila Dixon did for a long time.
Yeah.
I think she still may have
Oh, still have a security?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so there are some things that we just have to make sure that we push on, because part of it is that some, let's just be honest, some don't live there. That's just it.
So
What?
So yeah.
I was. I'm just trying to see if the mic was ready. Can I get her in? Okay. So that was one of the website, was the mdelect.net. There you will find, you can put your address, have all your representatives, and then the next one is your voter101.org. That's www.voter101. I wonder if it's voter or voting. Lord Jesus. Okay, let's try voter. Voter101.org. On there, you will find your polling location. You will find, you will find your polling information, as well as where the early voting locations are. You will find the times. You will find even on there, because we did like a candidate questionnaire. You will be able to find questionnaires where the candidates answered. So if anybody likes, sometimes Baltimore Sun has that, questionnaires where the candidates had answered. So anytime, there's a lot of website. The unfortunate part is that they do not put it out so much to let you know where they are. I just don't think they make it as easy as it could be. So we want to make sure that we go on there if you are curious about where you should be voting. Most times also they have a sample ballots. If you receive a sample ballot in the mail, this is where you begin your homework. So we've gotten it a week or two ago.
Yes.
On there, if you want, please, I'm not being funny. Please don't do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Please don't do first person, let me just get out here and get my I voted sticker. Please do not go in blindsided. Do your homework. So once you have that, we want to make sure that we look each candidate up. Most times they have a website. So that's what we want to do. So I'm going to take a break. Okay. So we're going to take a short little intermission. I want to bring in Simply Sabrina because she was very knowledgeable about how to, you know, even the question she asked for me. But we want to bring her in and give us about 2 seconds. Thank you. How are you? I don't know how to bring you in. We're back. Oh, look at that. Okay. Hi, everyone. So we have Simply Sabrina on. I want you just to introduce yourself and which show you host, because I get the W. Yeah, I want you to do it. And I want to thank you for coming on in with us to discuss this.
Oh, thank you for having me. My apologies for everything, but I am Simply Sabrina. A lot of people know me by my real name, Sabrina Williams, and I am one of the hosts of Must Be the Music radio show. Yes, I've had the opportunity to host this show for some time, so thank you very much to Miss Darling Dina. And so, as you said, when I met you at the York Road Partnership campaign, the candidate fair, I was, you know, finally got to meet you.
Yeah, she was following us on Restoring the Village.
Yes, I follow Restoring the Village Project, and so I was very happy to finally meet you and then talk with you. And so when the opportunity came that I did have a slot for you to come on the show, I contacted you.
Yes, I jumped on it. Thank you again for having me on the show and just using your platform to educate individuals. What is the radio show again?
Oh, it must be the music radio show, WFBR 1590 AM.
Yeah. So she said so fast, I didn't know.
I know, right?
Let me just tell you, one of the things that when I came on the show, one of the things that I adored was her energy.
Yes.
So you're gonna. So at the end of it, you're gonna take us out.
Oh my.
You should saw on that. She was like, energy winder, and I was like, wow.
It was 10 a.m. I had to get the listeners. Whoa.
She must have had coffee. I was sitting there like, okay, and then I was like, okay. So her energy, I just truly loved it, and to find out that she lives in my district, it's just a bonus. Yes. And so, and not even just that. Like I said, she was following us on Restoring the Village Project. I'm just so thankful that it's been utilized to help our community. So thank you, and we're gonna go back to talking about voting. I'm gonna have you talk about something. You said something very powerful in the beginning. I hope I wrote it correctly, but we talked about the importance of the voting. You said economic empowerment. Mm-hmm. So I want you just to hint on exactly what you mean by that. I got it, but I think it was very, very powerful. And just talking about just how is it even important, just the past and going to the future.
Okay, so me having a more so cultural perspective, I think of all the blood, sweat, and tears that our ancestors used. Like that was their payment. Their payment was their blood, their sweat, their tears. I mean, the beatings, the brutality. I think about what it cost, to actually be able to freely go and walk and vote, and to be able to read the ballots, and to be able to just do that freely. And I think a lot of people are very clandestine about it. I think they're very nonchalant about it. Well, if I get around to it, but knowing, the price that it actually costs to vote, I mean, that just energizes me. That actually refills me to try not to miss any voting, and to not only that, to rally my friends and, hey, did you such and such, did you get a chance to vote? Check on my network and my village to make sure they're actually doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
And
oh my gosh, you just hit that.
Amen.
You know why? One of the important things is we don't communicate to others. So even though you know me, your neighbor may not. So we gotta start communicating with one another. So I'm sorry, you just hit it right on the nose. I always tell people, have you told 5 other people? Have you told 10 other people? We gotta get back to that.
And oftentimes we live in a household of people, so it's really not that far of a reach or push to gather your brother, your sister, your cousin, your niece, your nephew, and say, hey, such and such and such. I remember one time that when I was living all with my family and my parents, I was able to check the addresses and say, no, you better get your butt out there and you better vote because you telling me lies because they said you didn't vote.
Yeah.
And to lastly, have our sons and my daughters, like my son, he's 10. Every time there was a chance to vote, you better believe he was right there beside me, learning the process to vote. So when he gets older, it's just a second nature. Yeah, I vote. My mom took me every single time. Yep.
So we've gotten away from handing down. It's not about materialistic things. We have lost that. We are disconnected. I'm just going to be very truthful. Just down to everything. We're not handing that down. And let's talk about handing down. This kind of just came to me as well. So you have some people, I know I talk about this all the time, and I'm going to just keep on until something changes. But you have people in office for ages. I'm trying to be as nice as possible. I want this to be a very neutral one. But you have people in office for ages, since I was a little girl. And I just don't think it's fair to not pass the baton, pass the torch, pass some knowledge, still be a part of it, but we have a disconnection because no one wants to pass down that knowledge. And so we cannot afford to do that. Like going any further, like my daughter just said, they're not even teaching it in the schools. If they are, it's like okay, this was for the day. We're on to another subject now. You know, so I think it's very, very important. If anything, 2018, she should be knowing more than us. Technology, everything. If you want to know about a candidate, everybody has a social media, a website, a Facebook page, Instagram. I don't even care if it's a phone number, email, a mailing address. You want to talk to somebody, it's right here in your hands. And so we have to step it up. A lot of times I don't even want to say like it's this person's problem, that person, the mayor, the governor. Like sometimes it's on us.
It is on us. And then when those persons that have been in the office for decades and decades, it's amongst us, the citizens, to bring forth accountability. If that person has been there in the decades, if they have been not doing their part, then why don't you rally yourself to be committed to getting those people out of the office? So it's about accountability. You're good.
So how long can each candidate be in the office?
Good question.
If I ever get in there, I'm pushing for term limits.
Very good question.
Yes.
Very.
So right now, there's no term limitation
None
for
whatsoever.
office. Only mayor and president, right? Or I don't even know if the mayor is. I know president.
How about the governor?
Yeah, governor has
it.
the
The
mayor
and president.
and president.
But as far as city councilmen,
Yeah.
as far as senators, as far as delegates,
Nope.
as far as state central committee members, they can be in there as long as the people re-elect them, no matter if they're doing the job or not. So
let's talk about some of the and this is only going off of as I was talking to people. This is what I gather. So some people are just saying, "Oh, that's all I saw posted," or that's the name that they recognize. So they're going off of name recognition. And then you ask them, "Have you seen them? What have they done? What bills have they passed?" I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, and they don't know. I feel like if you don't know what they're doing for you, not to say just get away, you know, get rid of them, but you want to question them, hold them accountable, ask them, you know, with their platforms. There are some people who won't even give you a debate or a forum, won't even come into the community to tell you that. So let's go to them, you know. And so I didn't realize how much of that disconnection it was, but a lot of times it is name recognition. If we were driving down the street and you keep seeing this person who has a lot of money in their campaign because they have the money to put these big signs, but they didn't do the work. So a lot of people are going to do that. They're going to see the name.
To be honest, if you weren't a part of this and you weren't a candidate, and if I was to go voting, whatever sign that I saw the most, I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to vote with everybody else was voting.
and that's the norm. That's pretty much the norm.
But you guys know the other side of that? When it's like the people that are in the office for a long time, they already know the name of the game.
Oh, yeah.
So the name of the game is, if I have the big reputation, if my reputation precedes itself,
The money.
if I'm going by name recognition, and guess what? I ain't got to put in the work, because you know what? I'm already here.
Yeah.
So I feel like they take advantage of that and not really slack
They don't
a
put the
little
work
bit
in
on the
no
work because they know that their name is going to carry them.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because actually, I read an article today that they're pushing. Well, put it this way, they will be introducing, proposing a bill that will force elected candidates, those that are already elected and trying to get reelected, to actually campaign.
Wow.
Yes. So it's in the first stage of it, and I actually had someone sit down with me and give me some insight on it. But it's going to be in two bills, and so hopefully, if they pass it, the way they're going to do it, the initiative is they're going to give the candidate X amount of dollars match. You have its requirements and everything in order for them to get the matching funds. But the good piece of it is that these candidates that are that are existing and sitting in seats now that you do not see at the fairs, that you do not see knocking on your doors, that you do not see even in your community meetings, in order for them to run to be reelected, they have to be engaged in the community. And that's the piece of it that I really truly wish would get pushed, because you have a lot of candidates that have been in office for X amount of years, and you do not see them. They've gotten so comfortable with the fact of being reelected that they don't even give the voters respect to even come out to any debates.
Wow.
And so that makes me not want to reelect you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they're going to a job every day. Once you get used to your job, you're like, I'm not going to do everything like how I did on my first day.
Or trying to
I'm
get
not
in
trying
there.
I'm not trying to kiss my manager's butt.
But voters need respect, you know.
Yeah.
So I look at it as a matter of respect. At least have respect to take time out of your campaign to come to at least fairs, debates, community meetings.
Absolutely. And that has been one of the, I'm sorry, I'm just putting it in groups. It has been one of the biggest problems that I've seen. And I'm not going to say that you have to come to every last one, because I'm going to tell you, come and see some.
It's tiresome.
It's tiresome. I don't even think that the organizers really even sit there and understand that we just had one last week. Like if you pull together, it will be more. And then how are you even getting information out to the community? Because a lot of times it's more of the candidates than voters. So I think just really putting the effort in on both parts. The organizers getting that word out to your community association meetings, schools, whatever it was, that was organizing it. But sometimes it's rough. So we got to make sure that we are being fair to one another. And given that particular that timing as well, and like I said, communicating with different organizers, so they will come together, that will be very, very beneficial. So I won't say every single one, but there are some that won't come to any, and so that is just really unacceptable. I would be okay with even debates on TV, radios with everyone, because I think having everyone there is a really good time to do that, and even intros, and also ways that people can get information. So as my daughter was stating, how will she know and read up on the issues on their platform? And so making that available, even if there was a website to have every candidate listed in their website. Like I said, it's listed on the Board of Election, but just their contact information, website, phone number, and which is good. But you have to go there and look that up. So, as we stated, it's the gubernatorial elections, 4 years, same thing. It just of course it staggers with the presidential, and it's again your governor, comptroller, sheriff, judges. And it's so funny because it's like some of these are your comptroller, your sheriff, your judges are all unopposed. So it's like you're kind of wasting some time, right? So some of them have been in office for a long time. Those two, at least, that I have stated, but there's nobody going against them. So, so we got to change. We have to change that. So your state's attorney, your delegate, your senator, your central committee, congressman. And one of the things, because there's so many candidates out there, of course, there are opportunities as well. So we can look at the good and the bad. So there are opportunities to help. There are opportunities to learn. So you can get connected to campaigns, learn, drop literature. If you know that it's somebody that is really good, back them up and support them. Volunteer, dropping literature, getting the word out, wearing a t-shirt, I don't care. I mean, there are so many, the sky's the limit. But one of the biggest things with volunteering is students. I have put out on there a few times, and I even gotten some of them back. But if you need service learning hours, a lot of times this is a great opportunity to either learn the whole process. So if we didn't learn it in school, you can come under someone, learn it. But you can also volunteer during early voting time during the week or election day and get hours. So if anyone needs hours, please reach out to me. I have a few in different districts as well. A few candidates that I know are looking for volunteers. So that was kind of, I wanted to throw that out because that is a great opportunity. Not to say to get taken advantage of, but I'm just, during that time you can get your hours, and you can always will be a learning experience as well. So I'm actually excited about it. I'm ready. I'm ready for it to be over. I'm ready for June 27th. It has been a wonderful journey, a learning experience.
So I have a question. So because you are a candidate, are you able to vote for Central Committee?
Yes, I'm a voter. I'm a voter. I can vote for myself.
Okay.
So that was a great question. Yes, I can vote for myself because I'm not technically, So, and I think anyone, even if you are elected, you can still, you're still a voter, so you can vote for yourself. Yeah. Great question.
You know what I remember? President Obama, it was on the news a long time ago when he was actually voting for himself, and there was the whole news spectacle thing going on.
Second one,
about the girlfriend and all that. Yeah, he was actually voting for himself.
Yes, you can vote for yourself. I will be voting for myself.
Exactly. Better.
Yes. So listen, one other thing I want to talk about was, we have some time, but one thing I want to talk about is, for your senator, it's only one, each district. For your delegates, it's 3. I hate when people say if someone left, it's one seat available. There are 3 openings, 3 slots, 3 seats. Even the ones that are incumbents, they gotta push and fight and prove that they can get back in there. A lot of times they do it by power and money and more signs, more publicity, and that's how they're getting in. But at any rate, I'm being neutral. So, so you have 3 delegate seats for each district. In your state central committee, there are 7 seats for that. So again, there's a whole list. You can either look on your sample ballot, or if you're curious about other districts, they're all listed on the sample ballots on the Board of Elections. And that is very, very informative. So even if you didn't get it in the mail or whatever may have happened with your sample ballot, always can go on to the Board of Elections website, and I will also post that. But also you can go to the Board of Elections website, and you can get your sample ballot.
So I have a question. Okay, so the positions, the senators, the delegates, and the SEC, State Central Committee. Okay, so what position requires experience, or do none of them require experience?
Did we talk about this Saturday? None of the positions require any experience.
That's kind of scary.
Wow. So senators,
anybody can go to be a mayor. Anybody can go to be a mayor. Anybody can be
a governor.
You didn't have to have the experience to be behind.
All you have to do is pay the filing fees.
Yeah, pay your filing fees and prove. And listen, let me tell
Prove
you,
that you're a resident?
sometimes you don't have to have all these degrees and all that. You can have the heart for it. So I understand not putting that on, but like specifically, there is no requirement there.
Oh, and then I
That's-
think about it. Is that really a question? Because the president didn't have to have experience.
No experience.
Yeah.
Really?
But listen, they have an administrative team. Believe me, understand. A lot of times you have your whole administration that is backing that person, you know, and so I'm sure each one of them had their own expertise. Even the mayor has her administration, and so it's not just the mayor, okay? But basically, to answer your question, there's no.
I mean, it would help if you have some
It would
experience in what you're running for, but at the foundation, you really don't need to have that experience.
So
As
the
long
only
as you are a registered voter and you lived in your district for a year.
Yes. Well, some of them are longer.
Which ones? Like with on the state level, it's longer.
It could be, yeah.
Okay.
I think the state's, I don't know if there's a state's attorney. One of them I just read, and it was longer than, you said 1 year?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was
with the
longer.
city, I think it's like residency. It's 1 year.
So, yeah, they're the only requirements is, you know, your residency.
is there an age?
18. You have to
Oh,
be,
yeah,
as
well,
long as you're a
18
voter.
is-
Yep, as
yeah.
long as you're 18.
Uh-oh, what are you trying to
She has the bug now.
going for the mayor.
She has a political bug.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's kind of just kind of what I wanted to throw out is that of having up points of knowing that there are 7 central committee members, 3 delegates, 1 senator. So I think everybody else is kind of the one. No, judges are like 6, but they're the same 6. That's what's scary. And then you have your unopposed, the comptroller, it's just 1. So, yeah. I think, so, I'm trying to see if I can say this. What is the most steamiest, I'm trying to be nice. Which positions are the most steamiest? Like your
Controversial?
State's, like the state's attorneys is kind of intense. Governor, that's kind of intense, you know, because they're like, I want to say 8 to 10 governor candidates. Let's talk about one thing. I haven't been on here so wide, so y'all gotta forgive me for jumping over. Let's talk about how. So we know that one of the candidates for governor had passed,
Right.
and we also know that one of the senators has been, you know, charged. I don't think he's been convicted yet, but Senator Nathaniel Oaks, he has been charged with something, and he had to be removed, you know, from his position. Yet his name is still on the ballot.
Oh yes.
You know, so these are things. And then when I said even with the death of the governor candidate, it was too late to take his name off, so his name is on the ballot. So there are some things
Which to me raises, you know, is that unconstitutional?
Oh yeah,
You know,
unconstitutional. Yeah,
because how can you? All right,
it's
so
splitting votes.
you have a person on the ballot.
But what about Nathaniel Oaks? Whatever. Yeah.
Women. So okay, if I go in and vote for Kamenetz, she's gonna get those votes.
She's getting.
Yeah, she's gonna get it because she's already said she's gonna run for
Yeah,
governor.
she's getting. His former running mate is getting those votes.
So
So her
that is legal to have a deceased person's
That was
name
my
on the
point.
ballot.
because they don't have enough time to reprint it.
But that's an excuse.
This is 2018.
though. That's
No,
an
I give it-
excuse. That's an
Mar-
excuse.
Formerly Miriam has changed her name. I didn't have enough time to change the flyer. The flyer's already made, so I'm gonna have to change the flyer later.
Thank you.
But Nathaniel
which
Oaks
I will
happened
do, but I'm
months
just saying,
ago.
I didn't have enough time to change the flyer. So it's like that same type of scenario. So they sending out.
He likes to
imagine
stay
I send out
neutral.
multiple flyers. I can't recall them and change it, you know, because one of the candidates passed
They
away.
could take
So
the
what
name
about
off
her?
the
What
ballot.
about
No,
her?
they can't.
There was a paper ballot. We went back to that, right? The paper ballot.
Yeah, it's a paper ballot. So how
So they already been
tell me
printed.
how they gonna do that? Y'all just said.
We got the money.
Early vote is in 2 days.
Well, this happened months ago.
Wasn't
Not
months ago.
him, but
That
Nathaniel
happened.
Oaks.
Oh well, yeah.
But you know what else I was thinking?
Nathaniel
Like-
Oaks is
He
a
died
totally
last-
different.
He died last month.
Yeah, he died last month. I could see that one being.
It might be harder to take the name off, but they can make that button for him inactive. You should be able to do something behind
But
the
she was
scenes.
she was a lieutenant governor, so
She
it would be hard
she's
to.
running. She was running with him, so it's not like it doesn't hurt her. She tried to get it done, but
it might help.
I think it helps her.
It might help.
So will her running mate also get those votes as well if they vote
But
for
she doesn't
Cabinet
have
slash
her running mate
Irvin?
listed.
Exactly.
But
Her
she
running
has
mate is
chosen
not
someone.
Chosen a running mate.
So
right, she has.
Yeah, she does.
So it doesn't matter if he gets the votes. If she gets in, they're gonna remove him as a deaf, and then she's gonna put.
She was gonna win.
No, not for me. I don't say anything.
Oh, I don't know.
Right.
Who do you think will win?
Not her.
I ain't say her, but I'm saying who do you
I
think?
didn't think he was gonna win.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you
I
this.
think the fact that
I think
his
it's going to be
death has made
a kind of tight race.
Yeah.
But you know, and talking about
I'm still stuck. Who
yeah.
do you think?
What, when it's all said and done?
The governor. No, not all said and done. Not because I know where we going at. Who do you think as far as the Democrat? It's hard, isn't
Flip
it?
a coin.
Huh?
It's flip a coin.
Because they're going to split. Because the votes. Yeah, the votes are going to be split. Yeah, the votes are going to be split.
I was giving Boss Hog today on governorship again.
That's what I said. Didn't we talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
We just split the pie 12 times.
wow. Yeah, you can't split a pie 12 times.
No, we ain't got no pie.
Yep.
And
So that was very. I was just curious because I ain't gonna tell you what everybody think there's gonna be, but
Who?
yeah,
Who?
in a general election, I'm not gonna say it. the current governor.
okay.
Oh.
That's what I said, Boss Hog.
Yeah.
And as we were
Dukes
talking,
has it. Y'all remember Dukes has it?
Woo, yeah, once you get that visual.
Yeah, the white suit with a white hat.
Yup.
You look like Boss Hog.
as we were talking, right, and we were talking about the charges of Nathaniel Oakes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I don't really know the scandal around it, but my position is for his name not to be removed just because he has a charge, because there's a difference between a charge and a conviction.
He's getting
But he hasn't been convicted of anything.
Yes.
he hasn't.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And a lot of the times, like, that's the stigma of being an African American in general. You're like, once you're charged, period, if you're African American, it's equivalent. A charge is equivalent to a conviction. I don't know what he did, but that, like, it's not equivalent. And I just want whatever he was accused of. I don't even know what it was. I want him.
He's doing time.
Yeah.
He's gonna do
Well,
time.
whatever it was, let
Yeah.
him get convicted, and then the situation be remedied.
Yeah, he's on the ballot, though.
Yeah, he's on the ballot.
He's still on there.
Okay, so now that we're talking about that, it just reminded me. I told you I'm full of it. So, how do you feel about a candidate who's on the ballot twice?
No.
Meaning, okay, even with him, he was on as a senator and he's also as a central committee. So even he played a part in. He voted for himself to stay, to not be off of there. And that is part of, let me just tell you, that's part of the Central Committee position, is to fill any vacancies. And so he was a part of his fate. Like, he voted for himself, I'm sure. And so that's how it got to the governor, because they couldn't make a decision. But that is part of a Central Committee to fill any kind of vacancies. But I don't believe that a person should hold two elected positions. I think it's just
I agree with that. I don't.
do you know about?
I think he played the game. If it's not no rules against it, if you can't say this would disqualify
bylaws need
me,
to be changed.
if it's not anything that will prevent me from doing it, he played the game. And to be quite honest with you, I think that's a smart move.
And not only him, it's
not
a
just
lot of
them.
elected officials that are maybe a
Some are city
senator,
councils.
maybe a city council that is a part of the SCC.
I don't really see anything wrong with it. I feel like if you could get either one position, I'd rather be in
Either one,
office
yes.
That's his
than-
keyword though. Either, not both. You have some that's on both.
Okay, did you part-time jobs? Some of these jobs is not.
Well, some of them are not part time.
They-
Some
they
of them,
expensive.
city council is a full time job, and they're on the state central committee. I know of two.
Yeah, but city
And that
council
is a,
one thing, but I mean, some of the other jobs you can hold multiple. Some of them you can.
I don't see anything wrong with
So
it.
city council,
Some people can work a job and do that.
city council. I think it's a conflict of interest. I think it's yeah.
It depends on what business
Yeah.
comes in front of you.
Yeah, I think so. That's the reason I'm saying not that they can't handle, but I'm talking about 2 city councils that are on there. I'm being nice, so we not to make any enemies.
Looks like
Yes, we're on the air. I'm being really nice.
Yeah.
It's more. No, I'm not. We're talking about. I haven't put anyone's name out. Vote for Angie. But no, I'm just curious. And like I said, I never thought in a million years I would really be into it. But I'm into it to a point where I see so many things that needs to be changed, and I see why we're in certain positions. Bylaw has to be changed. It has been the same since ages, and the bylaws as far as the central committee. And then term limitations. I mean, I don't believe a person should be in there for 40 years.
True indeed.
And y'all can figure out which candidate it is. But I don't believe a person should be in there 40 years and not really showing themselves to the community, and not being really truly involved. And I'm not talking about the same one, but just in general, like being there, you have to show up. I know how hard it is for us, for me, I want to speak on myself, of trying to get my name recognition. So now that you got it, you lax, and now you don't even want to come to a meeting, and I think that's not right.
Yeah.
well,
I
not even
understand.
that. You don't even want to show up in your job at Annapolis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I am really excited that it is that we are showing up. We are showing up.
Show up and
If
show
you
out.
guys would like to call in to ask any questions, you can contact us at 404-436-1277.
Look at that. Booey.
Look at God.
That was a good way to say
Yes.
moving on
Yes.
to another one.
Well, I wanted to mention something. Okay, so we were talking about running for a candidacy for 2 positions. I don't think I think they should have the opportunity to run for 2 positions or whatever, but I don't think they should hold it. I think
That's
that
what we're talking about. Yeah.
I think that they could run for it, but if they are chosen, I think they should be able to prioritize. If I'm chosen, I choose senator over delegate. I choose delegate over SEC. Not to hold both, because you're kind of knocking somebody out the box.
Yeah.
But you might. But if I'm really into politics, right, and this is what I really want to do, like for my life's calling. If I'm not chosen for a delegate, then I know, well, I might can run this and still get my feet on the ground in politics. I don't want to be knocked out of the box in 3 positions when I know I could possibly be in win one out of the 3.
So I'm okay with running for. I'm talking about the ones that are actually they hold 2 positions.
Well,
okay.
If I could chime in a little bit, those people that hold 2 positions, it's basically you can't really hold a senator and a delegate. It's basically
one
you
or
will
the
be-
other.
I was talking about central.
Right. It's
SEC.
Right. What
Yes.
we're talking about is the SEC, and most of the time you find those that are running for the delegate
Yes.
position will put their name in the hat
They waiting.
for the SEC. So it's pretty much like, CYA. If I don't get this, then I'll get this. But you have those that do get both. And where I say there is controversy or to me, it's like it is conflict, because the state central committee is responsible for pretty much holding the back of the delegate. It's like the liaison between the community and the delegate. So, and like Angie said, if there is a vacancy, then you look to the SEC to fill that vacancy. So it's like you're pretty much trying to monopolize everything when it comes to your legislative district.
Yes.
And I feel that it's not fair, because what if you're one of those delegates that do not consider your community but consider your gain? Where does the people, how are you really representing the people?
Yes.
So that's why I brought it up, is for that very reason. Let me just say for those who didn't know, because a lot of people are like, okay, senator, I may know, and they even gave names of a senator or delegate. But State Central Committee is the governing body for the Democratic Party. They do fill any vacancies. Let's say that I was on there and one delegate, became sick or had to step down for whatever reasons. The State Central Committee would be part of filling that vacancy. either someone can vote amongst the 7, or someone out of the 7 can do it. And that's kind of like, I guess they don't still leave their position. That's probably how they stay on. I just don't think they should be going for a re-election when the next time comes. But they can go and get voted in to fill that vacant delegate seat. They also, or it can be open to the community. So we can do like this open to the community thing, but we would still be the one voting on that particular person. Another thing is helping to increase voter registration. And I believe the biggest part of that is education. Trying to educate, not only just register them, but some of them don't even know, like I said, which district. Should it be Democrat, Republican? Of course, you cannot sway them one or the other, but it's as simple as that they just don't know. And so I really believe that, and I'm hopefully, we all can talk about how we can push forward to get out there in the community to do these educational forums, like to come outside of it. But I think there are so many things that are missing or can be revamped. And so it's always room for it. And this is pretty much what we wanted to have today, was to talk about, Voter 101, no gossip. Just Voter 101 to say, how can I find my district? When can I vote? And just, and I'll just have my daughter, if you remember it, or I have it written here, is when can they vote?
You can vote. Early voting is June 14th through the 21st. It's 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then the regular voting is just only one day, which is June 26th.
And when we say regular, we want to say primary.
Primary
election.
Election is June 26th, and that is from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
So your primary election is in your polling district, which is on either, you can find it on the Voter 101s for your district, or you have your voter's card, registration card.
Do you know what time you get the results?
Oh, you'll get it on June 26th.
You don't know
like
the
we're
time?
doing this, what is it? When you know how they start tallying up. One time it was like, what was that? The mayor one. One time it was the next morning. They was still, no, the president too.
Yes,
they
it was.
Still on the next day.
It was, yeah, it was.
So I won't even say on June 26th. I want to say they'll tally up everything from June 26th. So. Again, there are some listing of the early voting locations, and then again, your primary election is June 26th. I want everyone to just get excited. I want everybody to go out there. Don't show me a little sticker. I voted. And you went ahead doing some eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Okay.
No more eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It is now for us to really do our homework. And I'm really excited about that. Also, make sure that you register. You can register to vote now for the general election or for 2020, which would be the presidential. So that's why I just wanted to just throw that out. Have missed everyone. I haven't been on here in like a month of Sundays, but I really, truly missed everyone, and I cannot wait for next week.
Wow.
Yes. A lot of things going on this weekend. Anything that you want to put out? I have a few things. No. So we have a Pride Festival that's coming up. It actually will be leaving from Charles Village, so that's 43rd District. 43rd District, stand up. So it will be Pride Festival going on this weekend. Also, there's something going on in the Penn North where they're doing a community empowerment festival. So we want to make sure that we support some things that are going on. For a listing of all of the activities going on for the entire month, please make sure you continue to go on to Restoring the Village Project. On our page, we have all of the flyers and events that are listed where you can play a part and help out in the community and to be in support of the community. So we got to make sure that we do that. And of course, I'm going to do my little plug, and then I'm going to let everybody do a little outro. But my little plug is, we have 7 slots.
Get it?
I'm using my platform, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am hoping, praying, and wishing for one of your votes. It's 7 slots. So you don't have to do it eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm at the very end. It's alphabetical order. No looking in between, no looking to see. Angie Winder. I'm at the very end. The work that I would love to put out, I'm doing it now. I didn't just begin it. But there are so many things that I would love to do in office. So hopefully I get your vote on either June the 14th through the 21st or June 26th. I also wanted to give my shout out. I know I did a little post, but I want to shout out Mary Washington. She's going for state senator, and I want to shout out Kelly Fox is going for state delegate. The reason I'm shouting them out is because they both allowed me an opportunity. I could always say a lifetime, but gave me an opportunity to be on that ticket. So they've endorsed me, they've helped me, and that's how we got to do. We got to make sure that we groom the next generation, and that's why I want to make sure my daughter is here. So that's all I want to say. Now let them do their outro, and I'm gonna have simply Sabrina. She's gonna have us go all out, but I just wanted to just have it go down and not have my voice be the last one. But thank you all for tuning in, and I'm looking forward to being on here on next Tuesday.
Again, my name is Brunaya Winder. Thank you for tuning in today. Hope to see you guys Tuesday.
And my name is Jordan Graham, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. And I'm going to pass the baton to Simply Sabrina.
Yeah, she's gonna get it hype. She's gonna get everybody hype. Like she's gonna be like, vote, 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 vote. Not for me, not for just Angie Winder, but come on, it's so important to vote.
I just want to say, please get to know the candidates. They are approachable. Please go up there. If they're not approachable, then question yourself whether they really want your vote. And, get out and vote. Remember, make a change, be the change, because change takes change. We have to remember that. Positive change, you gotta take that step forward. So thank you for listening to Restoring the Village on Radio on Fire, and please tune in next Tuesday. They have an awesome show for you.
Woo! Thank you.